Hey everybody, it's Zombie Bones and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Sam and I make silly little art videos just like these. Today I'm redesigning 3 of the 6 MLP main sets. Today I'm doing Rainbow Dash, Applejack, and Twilight Sparkle, as per the choice of my mother. I was indecisive and couldn't choose who to do and didn't want to use a random name wheel, so I just asked her to name 3. This little human AU is both tied to my infection AU as a pre-story and is based off of Equestria girls. In this AU, they'll be college age and attending the same school. They all have majors that I've attributed to them. I'll also be giving them human names! So I started with Applejack, probably my second favorite of all the girls, my first being Pinkie Pie. She's an earth pony who works on her family's farm, Sweet Apple Acres, in the show, and she's very serious and passionate about it, so I've made her major in environmental science. I chose this because I felt like it would assist her in approaching her farming in an environmentally sound way. I've also decided to name her Jacqueline Apples in her human form, Jackie for short. Yes, I just swapped her name around, but come on, it works. So first of all, when I was designing her, I wanted to give her a very powerful yet still laid back pose, because even though she's very serious and stern in the show, she can also have her laid back moments. She likes hanging out with her friends, she likes taking time off when she can. So I started by giving her a laid back pose, and then I started sketching her outfit. So with her outfit, I wanted to give her a cute little bandana. I struggled with her cowgirl hat a lot because I'm so bad at drawing hats in general. Beanies I do fine with because they're kind of amorphous, but cowboy and cowgirl hats have such a very specific shape, so I ended up simplifying it very similarly to how they simplify it in her art and in the show. I gave her a little tank top to put under a flannel, some jeans tucked into some cowgirl boots, and a big old belt buckle with an apple on it. Because for these girls, I wanted to try to hint at their cutie mark in them without directly putting it on them. I think the one that I did the worst on for that was Twilight Sparkle. But I did my best. I also gave her apples on her cowgirl boots, and I was just really happy with how she turned out. There's not much to write home about for her. I also changed her dead mom anime hairstyle, you know, the hairstyle that dooms all anime moms to death, into a big puffy braid. I didn't do any first drafts on any of these girls. Usually when designing a character, I like to do first drafts. I picked that up from Genja Ninja or Jumpy June on Instagram because I've been watching his content for a really long time. And they actually are who inspired me to pursue making a comic and stuff like that. So I like to follow kind of their art process because he does a first draft and then does edits to it. And it does seem like it makes it go smoother. I know it does for me, and it seems like it does for him too. But I decided to just jump in balls to the walls on these ones and just kind of draw what felt right. I also put her cutie mark down in the corner. I futzed with that a little bit to try to figure out where I wanted to lay it. And then I got into line art. I use a base Krita line art pen with some grit to it. It's this calligraphy pen. I don't know exactly what it's named, because I don't look at any of the pen names, but it's my favorite pen to ink with because it's got some texture to it without it being overbearing. It's also pretty smooth. For her little headshot, I wanted to do a very serious expression because she's a very serious person when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of it, and I wanted to reflect that in my drawing of her. I really enjoyed trying to get that serious expression in because I have a lot of trouble with expressions. I usually draw my characters with absent-minded smiling expressions, and I am working on that. I also gave her a little wheat in her mouth because in cartoons and TV you see a lot of cowboys with wheat in their mouth, and I feel she would do it just for the bit, you know. She'd be oh, I'm a cowgirl, I should put some wheat in my mouth. That'd be so silly. And so I did that too. The line arting process went by pretty smoothly. I struggled with the second eye as per usual, so I just copy pasted and flipped it and then lined over it like I like to do. I kind of struggled with proportions in general on all of these, and with skin tones too on Rainbow Dash and Twilight. I don't know why I've been struggling so bad in art, but I need to figure it out. I also did a little off-the-shoulder thing to add to the laid-backness of her posing and to show that she's wearing a tank top under her flannel instead of a t-shirt. There's the belt buckle. I kind of designed it off of memory of what like big cowboy belt buckles do, and then I did some stitching on her belt buckle. If I could go back and change anything, I would add the same stitching to her boots and hat just to tie them all together. If I draw this design again, which I probably will while working on my Infection AU, if I ever find time to do that, I will add stitching to her boots and hat. But with the boots, she does have some trim that is the same color as the stitching on her belt, so I don't really know if I'll go back and do that, but I'm going to try to do that and see if that works. And then I went into coloring her. So in my head, she's like not like deathly pale, but she's definitely white. Like she's white. She definitely also has like a ruddy undertone as well. I think I would have tanned her a little bit if I could change anything with this, because I did this a few days ago, like about a week ago. My adult job has made it a lot harder to get art done, so. And then for her hair, I changed it to more of like a darker blonde instead of that like pastel, like yellow blonde they have in the cartoon, because my art tends to lean more towards semi-realism even when drawing ponies, so I do draw with less like fantasy colors unless the character has dyed hair or something. And then I hand did plaid. If any of you have a plaid shortcut, please let me know, because drawing plaid is hell and I hate doing it. But I like how this turned out. It looks fine. I could have looked at a reference for the plaid, but like I've drawn plaid so many times in my, God, how long have I been drawing? Like at least 11 years of art for me to do it from memory. And then I just layered in some colors. I did a lot of browns, blacks, and just earthy tones. But for her jeans, I wanted to go with blue jeans because like I noticed that like a lot of like country people wear blue jeans rather than like gray or black jeans for some reason. I don't know why that's a trend, but I have noticed it when I was looking at references of like cowgirl outfits. And then of course I kept her green eyes. And then I just jumped into shading after I wrote her name there. I decided for all of them I would write their name how I imagined that this version of the pony would write their name, or how I imagined the pony would write their name. So I hope that I captured her energy in the handwriting. Then I layered in some freckles, and then I got onto shading. I forgot that I redid some of the freckles, because I wanted her to be like coated in freckles, but I don't have a good freckle brush, so. And then to do shading, I hid my color layer and just like blocked in my shading with a red. I like shading with warmer tones. I don't know why, it just always felt more natural to me. You'll also notice that I did forget to color the wheat, but I do go back and fix that very soon. And you'll notice that I am going over the lines with my shading. That's because after I finished shading, I turned it to a clipping mask. And unlike my Sayori and Natsuki designs, I did go with my cell shading simply because she's sourced from a cartoon that uses cell shading when it does shade. So I just thought that would be more fitting, and it's also just easier to crank out than doing my like more painterly shading. And so since I was doing 3 characters in this video, sticking to my quick cell shading worked a lot better. My cat agrees. And I also like blocked in the major folds and then bucket filled them. I tried to keep a consistent light source. I'm still working on light sourcing. I was gonna do a second shading layer, but then I decided that would be a lot of time, and I did not have time for that because it was kind of getting late. I think I had just like gone and ate dinner. I needed to go to bed soon. I had work in the morning, so I finished her. I actually think that I started Rainbow Dash on the same day, which is why I rushed that a little bit. And then for her background, I did like some blocks of color and then decided to do like a lace kind of thing around it. You know, like think country home tablecloth, if that makes sense. And I just wanted to throw something behind her just to like have a framing device for her so she wasn't like floating around on a transparent PNG, because a lot of platforms don't support transparent PNGs for some reason, especially not like Instagram. And then I put a little apple in the lace as well and adjusted her size so she would fit better. Then I just copy pasted that, threw that around. You know, it was nothing special. I ended up changing the orange to brown, you know, and then I added a outer stroke around her, and she was done. Rainbow Dash was the one that came to me the easiest. I knew I wanted her to have tan skin, or just straight up darker skin, and I knew that I wanted her to have a sporty vibe. The main issue with this sketch was finding a good pose. I struggled a lot with posing because I wanted her to be stretching, and I could not find a good stretching pose that showed off the design I was working on to save the life of me. I scoured Pinterest for a long time and eventually did find a pose, which you'll see here in a minute, where I got a good pose that could show off her design and also have her stretching, because for some reason a lot of stretching poses like cross the chest and like block out a lot of stuff, which I mean makes sense because you're contorting your body to stretch, so you're gonna be blocking out a lot. And since she's an athlete, I put her major as sports medicine. She's also the captain of the Wonderbolt track team at Equestria University. She's actually the captain of the track team, swim team, soccer team, because of Equestria Girls, where she plays soccer, and the football team. All called the Wonderbolts because that is the official sports name for all of their teams. And despite having a busy schedule between school and sports, she does find time to help out her girlfriend, Fiona Shy, with her animal rescue club. Her human name is Ramona Dash, but she still goes by Rainbow due to her bright hair and her love of everything rainbow. So like I said, I did struggle with the pose a bit, but I'm finally on the pose that I stuck with, which has her stretching her arm above her head. I still struggled a little bit with the anatomy and the proportions, but I just generally am bad at that. I'm working on it. I've gotten better over the years. But working with anatomy can get kind of hard sometimes, especially when I'm so busy. I decided to give her a mullet. There was no reason for that. I just felt like it was right. I also gave her some piercings, a bridge piercing, snake bites, one nostril piercing, and a tongue piercing, which I illustrate in her headshot. I also gave her a slit eyebrow, but instead of it being slit at the back like most slit eyebrows are, it's slit towards the front. Now, for her outfit, I knew that I wanted to put her in a Letterman jacket with a bolt down the side in her cutie mark colors. So I just cranked that out really fast. I know what Letterman jackets look like. I put the R on it for Ramona or Rainbow. And I just I don't know, I had a really easy time with her. Like I said, there's not like much struggle or anything that I thought about really. I knew that she would dress like Adam Sandler if she was a real person, so t-shirts and baller shorts all the way. And then I gave her some crew socks and like some kind of chunky sneakers in primary colors. I don't know. She was really easy to draw. I wanted to give her a tattoo. She probably has a couple tattoos. She definitely has like a barbed wire tattoo somewhere, like probably on her arm, like her bicep. She definitely has like those angel wing tattoos on her back. She was just really fun to draw. I was really happy with how she came out. On her bust, it was equally as easy because I knew exactly what I wanted her to be doing. I gave her some ear piercings, or at the very least showed them off in her bust. I gave her a little chipped tooth. She probably chipped it while playing sports. The hardest part about the headshot was getting the top of her hair right, like the bangs and stuff that interacts with the rest of her face. And I think that was slightly because I made her face a little bit too big for her head, or maybe I made the head a little too small for what I was doing. Either way, something was off, so I ended up shrinking the face, and then I did struggle with the hair all the way into the line art where I finally fixed it. And then I decided to give her little shaven lightning bolts in her hair because, you know, she's super fast, obviously. And then I struggled with drawing her cutie mark from memory and ended up pulling up a reference for both her and her cutie mark because I neglected to do that. The cutie mark that I drew still does not look accurate, but it was the best that I was gonna get. So I ended up sticking with it and jumping into lines with that same line brush that I really enjoy. It's my favorite line brush. I will swear and die by that brush. Line art was smooth. I didn't have too many hiccups. Just keeping the lines the correct size and spacing was a little bit hard because I still do struggle with line weight. I've only been doing digital art with a tablet for 4 years. Before then, I used a mouse, which was much harder, so I am thankful for drawing with a tablet, but there are challenges that present with drawing with a tablet in general. Regardless of what medium you're using, you're always going to find challenges, especially with a new medium, and it will take a bit of a learning curve to learn it. My digital art now definitely has more consistent line weight than my original digital art in December of 2020. Or maybe it was I think it was December of 2019 actually, is when I started drawing with a tablet, because I got it for Christmas that year. And then I won a art competition with my school where they mailed me a Gaomon, which I used until it completely died on me. Rest in peace, my Gaomon tablet. There's not much to say, once again. I considered changing her tattoo to something else at one point, but I never ended up doing that. I considered giving her the barbed wire tattoo on her calf, so it was visible, because, like, it's kind of a stereotype for lesbians to have a barbed wire tattoo, especially masculine lesbians, and I'm not entirely sure why. I then just, like, kind of, like, blocked in some shoelaces. I hate drawing shoelaces. If you look at any of my art, you will notice that the shoelaces are just, like, X's and then, like, straight lines, because I really hate drawing shoelaces. Like, unless there's a reason for me to, like, the character has untied shoes for character reasons, I'm not drawing shoelaces. And then I jumped into lining the headshot, which was not too hard. Like I said, I did still struggle with the hair when I got to the headshot, but I ended up fixing it. I think my biggest issue with this entire drawing was the hair, getting the colors right, the shape right, all that kind of stuff. But it didn't present me too many issues in the end. I tried to put her earring in that's on her right ear, but I did not end up doing that because that was not working out for me. I also messed up her eyebrow shape on her headshot versus her full body. They are completely different eyebrow shapes. But even though I did that, I think that the rest of the design is consistent enough that you can tell that it's the same character, but I definitely made a mistake there. Consistency is another thing that I struggle with in art, and I am working on it. Like, the only way that anyone can tell that Raven, my favorite OC, is the same OC is because I say it is half the time. Then I lined her cutie mark, and oh my god, it's time for colors! I love coloring, it's my favorite part of the process. So I started with her skin color. I ended up redoing her skin color later because when in comparison to the other colors, it was really dead. And by redoing, I put a little overlay over it. I had the same issue with Twilight where her skin color ended up really dead, but I didn't realize that until I saved it as a full PNG with everything flattened. And I had not saved the work in progress. So when I got to the hair, I was struggling a little bit. I was not a happy camper because her rainbow hair in her pony design is very simple, it's very easy to follow. But when you translate that to a human design with human hair, it's going to be a little bit different, especially in a style like mine that's anime-inspired semi-realism. I don't know if that's what I would call my style, but I don't like trying to fit my style into a box anyways. So finding out where the colors would lay and finding saturations and values that did not clash or blend in with each other posed me a little bit of an issue. But I did do my best with layering in the colors. I think the color I had the most issue with was purple, because it just kept blending in, and so I kind of futzed with it for a bit until I settled for a darker purple. I also wish that I could have highlighted the red more on the full body, but like I said, I was struggling. I was not having a good time with the hair, so I just decided to move on to the jacket and like the rest of the clothes. So I made the jacket like a pastel blue to represent her coat color, which I think she's the only character. No. I did a orange on Rainbow Dash for her flannel too. And then I put her cutie mark colors as the lightning bolt down her letterman. That's the official Wonderbolt symbol, is a primary color lightning bolt. I was getting overwhelmed with all the blue, so I decided to incorporate some of the other colors, like the red down her shorts and stuff like that. I also made the shirt yellow, like a pastel yellow. I did keep her eye color as well. Her eyes are still pink because Rainbow Dash's pink eyes were like my favorite thing as a child. I thought they were really cool. I didn't change the piercing color much from the gray base that I use. I literally just made them like slightly pink. And then I wrote her name in how I would think she would write it. And I struggled for a little bit. I even wrote Ramona twice instead of Ramona Rainbow Dash. I put the stroke around it, got into shading. It was the same shading process as Applejack, I'm pretty sure. No, because I had merged the lines down. I couldn't hide her colors. I don't know if I hid the colors from Twilight either. I don't think that I did. I think that was like an exclusively Rainbow Dash thing. But it's something that I'd seen another artist do on YouTube. I don't remember who it was, but I really liked that. I thought it would help me focus on the light source rather than the colors when shading, and it did with Applejack. I did have a more consistent light source with Applejack than the other two girls. So I was just really... I'm going to be doing that more, I think. But I do think that I still got a consistent light source with Rainbow Dash. But she also was easy as hell to do. Like, there was no problems with Rainbow Dash's design, because I knew exactly what I wanted to do going in. I knew exactly what I wanted her to look like, and I do think that I effectively translated that onto the page. I do still think that her skin looks a little dead. Like, even after I do this, I do think that her skin could be improved on a little bit. But that's just a personal gripe. It's something that I need to work on. I haven't really ever had much issue, not since I was like 12, on doing the skin colors well and not making them like ashy or dead. But I did struggle a lot with both Rainbow Dash and Twilight's darker skin tones. On the background, I wanted to mirror Applejack's, but with a Rainbow Dash twist. I was just gonna leave it like this with like the clouds and the lightning bolts, but I ended up also adding a circle with a rainbow in it as well, just to set her apart from the background a little bit better, because I was struggling with her background some. It was a struggle, I'm gonna be real, it was a struggle, but at least I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And with that, she was done, pretty much. I just had to throw my signature on it, and done. So, yeah, I'm proud of how she turned out, and we are moving on to Twilight Sparkle. So, my last victim was Twilight Sparkle. She was a really hard one to get done. Surprisingly, drawing her cutie mark wasn't the hardest, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know what her hair would look like. I didn't know what she'd be wearing. I vaguely knew what pose I wanted to put her in. With her clothes, I vaguely knew that I wanted it to be kind of academia-centered, and I wasn't sure where to go with her. Like, at the very least, I knew that I wanted her to have darker skin, but even then, I kind of fell flat, and like I said, didn't even realize it until all was said and done. And then when it came to her major, I was really tossed up between physics and sociology, because she's the princess of friendship, and the element of magic would go towards physics. And then I came to the stunning realization she would double major and be completely shocked that she was stressed out. Also, sorry about this long, awkward pause in the speed paint. I zoned out on TikTok on accident and forgot to pause the recording. So, yeah, that's the ADHD. Love when that happens. So when I actually realized that I was doing that, I quickly got back to work after a couple of minutes. It's about to jump back to me working on it. I decided that I wanted to give her a headband really early on, and that I wanted her to be wearing a collared shirt. I wanted to give her a tie, but not like a normal tie. I wanted it to be one of those, like, not quite a bow tie, but not a tie. I also knew that I wanted her eyes to be kind of sharp, and I wanted her to have moles. So I went with that. I played around with the idea of giving her a nose ring, but I scrapped that in the final rendition, and I gave her glasses based on Sci-Twi from Equestria Girls, because the Twilight Sparkle from the Equestria Girls universe that lives in the human world, she has glasses. And then I straightened her hair because I felt like if I gave her curly or wavy hair, her silhouette would blend in too much with Pinkie Pie or Rarity. Because Rarity is also very thin. Not boxy, she's more like dainty thin, but still. Or at least what I'm planning for Rarity, because I haven't drawn the last 3 girls yet. I also knew that I wanted her sweater vest to have an Argyle type pattern. So I played around with that some, and I hope that it turned out the way that I wanted it to. I say I hope as if I didn't already finish the drawing. It did, but I just hope that you guys like the way that it turned out. For her headshot, I wasn't sure what expression to put her in, so I just kind of gave her that like resting smile I was complaining about me doing earlier in the video. Because that's the only thing I draw when I don't know what to draw. I just default to like a resting smile. And then I futzed around with her bangs. I ended up keeping the headband from the original curly hair because, like, I don't know, I wanted to add some more interest to her design because she, compared to the other two, she's very flat in her design, which, I mean, makes sense. She's more practical. She's not going to wear much accessories. She's not going to wear a lot of layers. She wants to be able to get things done in a safe and timely manner. I then sent the sketch to my partner and my friend Sparrow, and they both really liked it, so I got on to line art. I played around with her face a little bit in the line art like you saw just now. I had to resize a couple of things and move a couple of things around, but in the end I was really happy with how it turned out, like her face. I also think out of the 3 girls, she has the most consistent face between her headshot and her full body. I forgot her pupil momentarily. I don't know if I ever fixed that. But oops. And then her clothes did not change at all between the initial sketch and the line art. I gave her a little bracelet that I'm sure she made with her friends, probably. And I wanted to give her like a short sleeve button up under her sweater vest because I feel like she would be in the mindset that long sleeves get in the way. So why would she wear a bracelet? Because her friends made it for her and she cares about her friends. I gave her a thick belt. I was trying to use my singular chain brush to do this pants chain that I gave her because this was my singular like reference to her cutie mark, was giving her a little star pants chain. I gave her like tight-fitting jeans so she can move around in them because they fit well, but they aren't loose so they don't get in the way. And then I just gave her like some loafer-like shoes, just very practical, very to-the-point clothing that doesn't get in the way. It's not too frilly because she doesn't dress to impress. She dresses to be practical and to get things done. I also gave her a hooked nose like I gave Rainbow Dash. I'm obsessed with drawing hooked noses. I really like the way that they look in real life and in art. They add a lot of character to the face. But I really need to break away from that habit of just being like, oh, your face is kind of boring. Let me give you a hooked nose. Or I just want to draw a hooked nose, so I'm going to give it to every character. But I feel like the hooked nose kind of fits her, and it's not as like deep as a hook as I gave Rainbow Dash. And then the Argyle was kind of a trouble for me when it came to coloring, because I wanted there to be a like stitch design like Argyle sometimes has, and I ended up doing that through the line art. And her cutie mark, surprisingly, was very easy to draw. I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned that. Coloring was also pretty easy. Once again, just like Rainbow Dash, I kind of knew what I wanted to do with her colors. I gave her that tanned skin. I don't change her skin tone at all throughout this, but with the darker and also more vibrant saturated colors around her, I feel like it like dulled her skin down a lot. So there is a lot that I need to learn about color theory and how color interacts when it hits the eye. I futzed around with her hair some, trying to figure out how to get her iconic stripes in there. Because even though she doesn't dress to impress, I feel like she still has fun with her hair, and also her stripes are literally iconic. So yeah, I also ended up making her pink more saturated than I originally intended to, but I kept it because I thought that it like added more, same with the purple. And then with like her clothing colors, which I'll get onto soon, I knew that I wanted to do a mixture of whites and like dark blues, purples, and pinks, because like the purple, pink, and dark blue combo is super Twilight. And just like Rainbow Dash, I kept her on natural eye color because there are no rules in art. Your human characters can have whatever eye color you want and it will be realistic in your universe. And then her bracelet actually has the different coat colors of her friends. Orange for Applejack, yellow for Fluttershy, white for Rarity, blue for Rainbow Dash, and pink for Pinkie Pie. And then I quickly colored in the Argyle, switched to the line art layer, and did my stitching. I did 2 different colors for the stitching, so it's like layering, and then I darkened the Argyle color. I did a lot of white accents, so like her belt and her shoes, and then I made the pants a dark purple and then added some gold and then put black on her shoes, colored in her cutie mark accordingly, and then I got to shading. Oh, I did hide it for shading. I forgot. And shading was the same as Applejack and Rainbow Dash. I just quickly cell shaded some stuff in, so there isn't much to say about her shading process. We're just gonna fast forward through that because it's just a wash, rinse, repeat when it comes to shading. And then once shading was over, I got into the background. I drew her name first, or wrote her name first. I feel like she'd have like a really like nice looking thing, but she wouldn't write in cursive because Spike probably can't read cursive. Then I got into her background. I love doing the backgrounds. I wanted to do something like magical for her background, so I messed around with it a lot. I knew that I wanted her purple and pink in the background, and then I also added some white as well. So it's like ribbons like twirling around the edges. And then I added sparkles, copy paste, flip, really simple, and then I put a diamond in the background and some like stars behind her just to make it more interesting. So that was it for the art. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great day, night, or afternoon wherever you are. You can find the finished pieces on my DeviantArt and other social medias linked in the description below. I hope you guys have a great one. Bye-bye!